Welcome to the Medical Stories podcast, where we speak with leading experts, advocates, and those living with challenging conditions who share their real-life medical stories, hopes and optimism, and harrowing accounts of trials through adversity. The Medical Stories podcast is produced by Inventi Media Group, the team behind the multi-Emmy award-winning documentary series Medical Stories, airing nationwide on public television and available for online audiences at medicalstories.tv. The following audio story has been extracted from our television series episode titled Chronic Kidney Disease, BT's Story, and has been reformatted for your optimal listening experience. In this episode, we will hear from BT, his wife Gemma, and Dr. Csaba Kovesdy, Professor of Medicine at UT Health Science Center. We hope you enjoy the story.
I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. I left Memphis in 1964, joining the U.S. Air Force, where I've served for 30 years. I am married to my wife, Gemma Washington. We've been married now for 32 years. We have 3 kids. On retirement, I figured I would take it easy for a little while, which I did for about a half a year. Then I volunteered to take over the police joint agency here within our community. At my last year there, I was selected as the volunteer of the year for Big Shelby, which is the largest county here in Tennessee. I'm pretty proud of that. And since that time, I've kind of sat back and worked on the cars, the Mustangs, messed with my chickens and stuff, and sitting on the front porch. I'm BT, and I'm living with chronic kidney disease.
The word chronic in chronic kidney disease means that it's a long-standing illness. It leads to a gradual decline in kidney function. The kidneys, not only are they responsible for creating urine and cleansing your blood, it's probably an organ that is of central importance to maintain the general health that assures all the other organs to function normally. 37 million adults in the US have chronic kidney disease, which is a huge number. It's close to 20% of the entire adult population of the US.
While I was in the Air Force, I was continually bothered with hip pain to the point that I was subscribed ibuprofen. I was taking 800 milligrams 3 times a day for the pain. And I did that for several years.
One family of medications that can be a problem are the over-the-counter painkillers. Ibuprofen, indomethacin, for example. They can lead to kidney disease or to worsening of kidney disease.
Upon retirement from the Air Force, my numbers as it relates to my kidneys were becoming somewhat adverse. I needed to be weaned off of this ibuprofen because it was negatively impacting the kidneys. I did wean myself off of the ibuprofen, but the kidney disease, of course, had already started.
The biggest problem in kidney disease is that a long-standing illness like diabetes or high blood pressure will ultimately cause scarring of the kidneys.
I was diagnosed in 1990 type 2 diabetes. Also during that time, periodically, I would be checked and I would have high blood pressure. I don't think I really took it seriously for a number of years. I did not make the connection that it had to do anything with CKD. It just kind of overcomes you over time. Back about 8 months ago, I had gone down to Mississippi to visit some relatives, and I became very ill. It was so bad I had to come in. I was hospitalized. I knew I was anemic. What it was, it had to do with the red blood cells, not making the red blood cells in the volume that I needed to make them. That was a wake-up call when I realized how sick one could actually be.
The kidney produces a hormone, a substance called EPO, which tells the bone marrow how much blood to produce. And when kidney disease develops and advances, less and less EPO is being produced, and typically patients with chronic kidney disease develop anemia, a low blood count. Treatment can be in various forms. It can be by replacing iron if a patient is iron deficient, and it can be through replacing EPO. Another common condition developing in patients with chronic kidney disease is one called mineral and bone disorders, which affect the health of the bones and can manifest with conditions such as elevated phosphate levels in the blood, or hyperphosphatemia, as we call it. And hence, another important focus of the therapy of patients with chronic kidney disease is to monitor and to treat these mineral and bone disorders through various medications that can lower phosphorus or phosphate levels in blood. Very, very important that we catch the disease in its earliest stages. The detection of kidney disease is done by testing the urine and testing the blood. In the urine, one can test for the presence of very tiny amounts of protein. We call that albumin, which is a type of protein that can be done with a special test. And then in the blood, we're testing for the level of a substance called creatinine. The level of these molecules in the blood and in the urine will tell a physician whether or not the patient has early stages of kidney disease in the case of urine, or decreased kidney function with the blood test that also allows us to determine how severe the kidney disease is.
Upon the diagnosis, I was relatively cavalier about it. I didn't feel that it was that big of an issue, quite frankly.
So one of the big dangers of kidney disease is that in its early and moderately advanced stages, it is completely silent and asymptomatic, as we call it in the medical field.
I really did not have any symptoms. Even to this day, I do not have any what I would call symptoms.
In order to better understand severity of kidney disease, we came up with this staging system. We physicians came up with a staging system. So a person with chronic kidney disease could have stages 1 through 5. Stage 1 and 2 are the earliest stages, where the only sign is an abnormality in the urine. And then stages 3, 4, and 5 are stages with gradually decreasing kidney function. The kidneys are becoming weaker and weaker. And then after stage 5, a person typically goes on to dialysis or receives a kidney transplant.
I was diagnosed end stage, I believe, a couple of years ago.
So once a person develops end-stage kidney disease, we need to start some form of a treatment to replace that function if they want to live. And dialysis is the most common treatment that's employed.
I always fought the idea of going on dialysis.
Hemodialysis is a treatment where blood is removed from the body and it's run through a machine. The machine cleanses the blood, and then the blood is run back into the body.
When we were to peritoneum dialysis, which is different from the hemodialysis.
Peritoneal dialysis, on the other hand, is done using the patient's own abdomen, the belly, where a sterile fluid is run into the belly. It can sit there for a few hours. During that time, it sucks out the waste materials from the blood, and then the fluid is removed. Peritoneal dialysis is performed typically by the patients at home without any medical assistance, so they have to be able to learn how to do it.
My husband and I, we did a 6 days kind of seminar to teach us how to do it.
These are treatments that are performed either daily or every other day, and they're lifelong.
Each prescription differs for each patient as to how long it stays in the body. In my case, I stayed on it for 11 hours every night.
I set up the machine, and then I changed the dressing around the part in his body that I connect the machine. It's a challenge. I'm very emotional right now, but overall, every day, 99% of our days are happy and funny.
Even with the dialysis, I think that oftentimes people think that is a death sentence. They see it as something that, your life is all over. No, it's not. In fact, you might be surprised that some of that tiredness goes away.
Mr. Washington and I go back many, many years. He's been a patient of mine ever since he developed moderate advanced stages of kidney disease and during the transition from advanced stages to end-stage kidney disease. Extremely knowledgeable about his condition, extremely involved in his health care, very meticulous about taking all the medications. I wish all of my patients were like that.
You know, being someone who is rapidly approaching my 74th year on the planet here, exercise has been a big deal.
His exercise, I'm amazed that he does 4 to 7 miles, sometimes 10 miles walking.
I tend to every day to try to get at least an hour or 2 hours of exercise in. Failing that, I go into the garage and I do what I call aerobic dance. There's nothing like watching a 73-year-old try to kick his heels up and dance. There's a sight to behold. So I get out there and do that for about an hour or hour and 10 minutes, usually to the Temptations. So that's kind of my exercise routine now. In the old days, I used to be lifting weights in the martial arts.
Our best chance to prevent kidney failure is to start treatments as early as possible. And the earlier one starts these treatments, the higher the chances are that they might be successful in halting the damage and stopping the damage. The ideal way of replacing kidney function in a failed kidney is to receive a kidney transplant.
Things like having transplants and all the things that go along with that does not interest me at this time in my life. You know, that's not something that I welcome simply because of all the things that I understand one often have to go through.
The field of CKD is undergoing a major transformation. We are now experiencing a boom in the development of new medications that are meant to delay progression and worsening of kidney disease. The goal would be to catch the disease early, to slow down the disease, and hopefully reverse the disease.
To me, life is about living the best possible life you can. Use this body that you have to the best that you can. Take as good care as you can of it, as you can, until you no longer can. And having said that, that gives you a different perspective about life itself, about enjoying life, about doing the right thing, about treating people right, to include yourself.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Medical Stories podcast. Watch our show online at medicalstories.tv or listen wherever you get your podcasts.